Look at them. Love it. Growl. Hello everyone, welcome in. My name's Kai Zammit. I'm a director, cinematographer and writer based in the south of the UK. And today in this video we're going to be looking at Star Wars The Old Republic Hope cinematic trailer. I've already seen the first one, Return, absolutely loved it. And I'm going to put that up there in case you're interested in seeing it and or want to hear the breakdown of it. And how these videos work is normally first I watch it, give you my reaction, and then afterwards I break it down as a filmmaker. I talk about the good things, the bad things, and why the cinematic hit as well as it did, if it hit at all. So, with all that said and done, play the tape. Got that instant Star Wars music. I love it. When you hear that, I immediately know that I'm on a journey or an adventure. And I believe only Star Wars can really do that.
For centuries, Alderaan stood as
nice.
a beacon of hope in the Republic.
Nice establishing shot.
But the Empire came.
Okay, that's cool.
One savage strike brought Alderaan to her knees.
Is that a Sith Lord? Oh, is that
Time is running out.
from Return?
Few are left to face the enemy. For those that remain, there is but one choice. We must fight to victory or death for the Republic.
Nice. Oh, got a bit of shaky cam. Means it's getting intense. Whoa! Oh, it's making me want to play that Clone Wars game. Is that Malgus? Is it Malgus? I can't remember his name. Okay, that pissed him off. Wow, he's got some strength to resist that. Wow, there's quite a few Sith. Oh, look at that. Smirking at him. Oh, it's his turn now, is it? Wow, look at that. Camera looking up. Slightly off his axis. Oh, it's, I don't know her name. But he recognised her from the first one, didn't he? Wow, what? She looks almost different. Like from the first one. Like confidence. But she hasn't got his strength. Mate, this is amazing. I've got a bit of face ache. Oh no! Is that in her hand or is she stopping that with a force? Oh, clever boy. I like this guy, he's really cool. Mate, he's been through the ringer, this bloke. Even more so. God, he's an animal, isn't he? Holy shit. That was intense. Oh my god. So was that Malgus? Was that from the first one? Of Return? Made my eyes water, that was so intense.
While the sacrifices are heavy, we fight knowing that a single spark of courage can ignite the fires of hope and restore peace across the galaxy.
That's interesting, it was from his perspective rather than her, because she was in the first one. She gave that really, that massive support character. Star Wars: The Old Republic. Wow. Oh, it's that music, isn't it? That was fantastic. Wow. Love it. That was fucking brilliant. Just before I get into the breakdown of the cinematic, I just want to give a shout out to my Patreon members and say thank you for the support that you give. And a very special thank you to the Cobra Kai Black Belt members for the extra support that you give. Honestly, guys, it means the absolute world to me. And if you're enjoying the channel and interested in supporting me on this YouTube adventure, then that is the place to do it over at Patreon. What I'll do is I'll leave a link down there in the description box so you can check it out and see if the perks, you know, pique your interest, I guess. So with all that said and done, let's get on with the breakdown, shall we? So to start the film off, we've got that music, that iconic score coming in. It's brilliant. There's a couple of things here. One is the music is there to enhance the viewer's experience. So even if you're a cold caller, that music is powerful. It's drawing you in. You're like, well, what's going on? What's going on? You know, it's enhancing your experience. But also, because it's an orchestral score, what comes with that is the grandness of it. With an orchestral score, it comes a bigger experience, if that makes sense, rather than just electrical. It's just what a massive ensemble can do. It just gives you that experience. That's why all blockbusters have even though they may mix audio as in electric and score components and things like that, but when you've got the orchestral side of things, it becomes that huge experience, and that's why they do it, especially with Star Wars. And John Williams' work is fantastic. Right, so after all our logos, what we got? Okay, so we've got a fade in, yeah. And I believe it's a hard cut in. Boom, it's a hard cut in. A hard cut, it immediately tells you something's going to get serious. If it was a slow fade in, it tells you that it is more of a process of getting into the film. But a hard cut, it normally means shit's hit the fan or something serious is about to happen. And straight away, the knife goes in. Amazing. Oh, and then what I also really liked about that is with it, let me just go back 5, is after this, he looks to his screen right, and then you see the establishing shot. And I really like that. I thought it was great. Let me go back 5, play into it. Yeah. So he looks, the actor or the talent would look off screen, and then it leads your eyes into it. So what is that's called is it's following the thread of storytelling. You're using your visual elements to get you to the next shot. And then we've got this beautiful establishing shot. So we know where we are in the world. And this is world building.
For centuries.
And our voiceovers comes in.
As a beacon of hope in the Republic.
Look at this moving. Look at these.
Empire came.
Love it. So what's really nice, let me go back 10. Is what I really like is the camera movement. It's very cinematic, and camera movement means cinema. That is cinema. It means movement. And Star Wars always has it. It's beautiful. I don't know if the first shot had it. Let's have a look. Let me go back a few. It's so quick, I don't want to go back too much. No, it's a static shot. Oh, no, it is. The camera is just slowly... Darling, let me go back 5 and look into it. What's the camera doing? So the camera is going back. Oh no, it goes back slightly. Ah, it matches the visual motion of it. So the camera started to dolly backwards, and then it almost did a little bit of a trucking shot to the right. And then because the camera visuals was going right, camera right, then this shot went camera right. Okay, let me just play into it again so you see it. goes back, then it moves into that shot. You're using that, that's called a kinetic cut. Okay, so it matches the motion. And then our voiceover comes in, giving us the story. The Empire came, the ships. Did you notice the colour change there? It's all very light and fluffy clouds. Looks like a Bob Ross painting. You know, happy little accidents, all these trees. And then light, watch it. Darkness. That's, you're using the visual language. Look at this. Darkness. And then you've only got it light over here because we want you to look over here. So the cinematographer's like, nope, make this dark. Tell the viewer darkness has arrived. And then we want you to look over here, all the ships. Keep this bit light. So where does your eye go? To the lightest and the whitest part of the screen. It's what we do. We use light to shape the imagery, but we also use it to attract your attention over here. This is where we want you to look. We also use these ships here. And go back 5. Watch them flow in. So our eyes are on the ships. We're going along. We're still following them, and they lead us into the next shot. Okay, so that's the following that thread of storytelling.
One savage strike.
And then, did you notice that the camera started to tilt down slightly? So we're going along, and then the camera moves forward, moves down, because we want you to look down there. And so where did our eyes look? We looked down there, didn't we? I know I did. It's really interesting, this camera movement. It's normally with camera movement, it goes in one direction. It's either forwards, backwards. So your dolly shots, you've got your trucking shots, which are sort of left and right, and then you've got your pedestal shots, which are going up and down. So you're following one direction of an axis. But this, it moves all the time. So we're going along, we're trucking, and then we're moving forward. It's very strange camera movement, but it works because it's helping us look to where we want to go. Okay, our eyes are directed on screen. Did you notice that with that person jetpacked in? Why did we look at it? Why did our eyes look over there before we looked at this, this figure here, this threatening figure? Why did we look at this person over here? And the reason being, let me just go back 5, is it, remember what I said in this shot here? Because it's the whitest and lightest part on screen, your eye was drawn to it. Oh, there we are. See it just a little bit, there we are. It's jetpack. And then we immediately looked at this. I'm assuming, like, was that a bounty hunter type thing? Or was that? Yeah. Well, it looks like a bounty hunter, but for the bad guys, I can't remember their names now. Even though you just said it on the voiceover.
Now, time is running out. There's few are left to face the enemy.
It's really close, isn't it? The camera movement and the shot, beg your pardon, the composition. It's very in close. Sometimes I felt it was a bit too close on these. With Star Wars, I like it to be a little bit further out and then in, then out, then in. I like a good mixture. A bit like where filmmakers go wrong nowadays, especially junior ones. They put too much slow motion in and they think that they can make a whole film off it. And it's not. It's about mixing it up with real-time footage and slow motion. But with this, it's very tight. This is great, isn't it? Look at this. All the depth of field. Do you know, very quickly, before I go on to the next shot, talking about how close the composition was, this looks very cinematic. And the reason it looks cinematic, and if you've seen my videos before, or if you're new here, I'll say it now to tell you guys, it's because it's backlit. Because all this light here is projecting onto his back, or all of them, it makes them look cinematic. The issues with that is then you get a very silhouetted image, but in this case it doesn't matter. We want it silhouetted because we're representing the dark side. And again, look how tight this is. And the reason why this is tight, because the filmmakers want you to look at what they're doing. We want to look at the guns. Reloading. Yep. He then looks at him. Our eye goes as well. Nodding. And then again, we're looking around.
We must fight to victory.
Nice. What they did there is also another very cinematic look is the shallow depth of field, okay? So how much is being exposed in your shot, so that this is all very shallow and this is all very sharp. And what they did there is they did a pull focus. So it's on the subject. Wrap your focus because we want the viewer's eye to go that way. But look, the camera is still moving, isn't it? Even now. It's slightly moving, but this is shaky now. So what that means is by having it shaky cam, it then it went with his voiceover, the intensity. It means, again, shit has hit the fan.
We must fight.
But we're using the visual language of the camera to tell the audience that.
For the Republic.
Roar! That's it. Boom, 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 boom. That's it. Look at the shakiness of it. Because it's war, isn't it? We're really in there. Again, we followed the grenade there. Did you notice that? Let me go back 5. We're following... And also, actually, let me just watch this back. So we concentrate on the soldier in the middle. So he's in the middle of the screen. He rolls, throws. Why did we concentrate on him rather than looking at everyone? You might have looked at the others, but you know primarily that you want to be looking here. Do you remember what I said? Look, the lightest and the whitest part of the screen. And not only that, he's in the middle. By having something centre frame, you're primarily going to be looking at that anyway. But the fact is, here, look, we've got dirty framing here. Dirty framing being that you've got your subject here, and then you've got something in the way. But even so, you're still looking at him. Lovely, he's fucking brilliant, this bit, isn't it? All these rolls. And again, we're using that visual narrative and following the thread of storytelling because we followed the grenade, didn't we? Here we go. Following it, still almost centre frame. It's slightly off now. And then boom. Definitely going to get your eye over here, aren't we? Because we're looking at the brightest light on screen. It's mad to think, you don't realise it, how much light affects our eyes and how much it draws you in. But yeah. This is great. Again, I was quite tight there a bit. Let me watch it. Sorry. I want to go back and I have to flow into things. He lobs it. Boom. Again, there was another one of them. That's about the third transition that they've done like that. And rather than a basic cut, what they're doing is they're doing a full flash. So there's one earlier on when they jumped out, and there's one here. So this explodes, and they go full screen white. So then what that allows you to do, it allows you to cut away elsewhere. But you don't need to do that. You could just see that explode and then just cut straight into these running in. I don't think you needed that, because that was the third one I think we've had. Let me go back 5 and play into it. Boom. That is so intense. That should have... I feel like that should have been further out. Or you start in close like this, and then you cut out just as he hit them. Because I was looking at him and go, oh, yeah, yeah. And then next thing, he's sort of being attacked, which is fine. But you, like normal Hollywood motion, you're missing the action. It's so quick. I can only see it now because I'm watching it back sort of slow motion. You know, we miss that. But obviously it's a decision to make. Maybe it was a case of, because it's warfare, want to keep the camera in close with it. The camera is almost like a clone trooper. Let me go back and play into it. Yeah, that should have been a further out shot, I feel. Yeah, it's all very tight, actually, isn't it? Normally with Star Wars, you would have had a wider shot by then. You'd have had a... maybe that was close. Yep, absolutely, because it's action. But you would have probably had a little bit more of a wider shot, seeing the legs, seeing the crawler's legs. Boom. Yeah. He's spraying everything, isn't he? Like that, for example, if it was punched out ever so slightly, it would have made more of an impact. Speaking of impact, I noticed that the sound mix on this one wasn't so great. And it's definitely, unless it's the version I'm watching, but according to this, I am watching it from the original channel, the 4K upload or upres. But I felt the audio mix was a bit off on this. Like the sound effects were a bit lacking. It was overpowered by the music. It wasn't a perfect mix. I'm going to go back 10 and watch this through. Like that should be really loud. Strike it out. Pop, 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 pop. That's good. Like that's lost on me. You should have seen his whole body go, and I'd have been like, "Well, where's he going?" And the sound of it, whoo, and then oh, or maybe gone with him. That'd have been really cool, wouldn't it? Does he go with him? It does, but imagine going back with him, oh, and then, oh, and the massive impact. I thought that would have been awesome. That was something that I would have toyed with. But this is fantastic. That reveal was amazing. As in, what they did there is they blocked him. They call it, it's like a blocking on your screen. And so let me go back by frame on this one, because I don't want to, actually no, let's go back 5. So it picks him up. So here, they do a close cut. So the Hollywood action, all very close, can't see what's going on. You can just see the figure here, but you don't get the impact of it. And then you get your reveal. Boom, there's your figure. It's momentum building. And then they hold the camera on him ever so slightly, and he looks straight down the barrel of the lens. Or if he is looking not down the barrel of the lens, he's looking just above it. So you'll get your camera lens here, and they look just above here, or they look just to the side. It's the closest part of the lens where you can look like the outer rim, and it gives you that effect that it's like they're looking, but they're not. It's not quite breaking the fourth wall. But he does definitely look like he is. And look at this little white speck drawing you into his eyes. What I love about Star Wars is the scale of everything. And I've mentioned this quite a few times with Star Wars stuff and other Warhammer ones that I've done. It's about world building, and how you make that believable is the depth in your shots. Look at all it just looks so full. And look, I love it. Like the whole war that we've just seen. So let me go back 10. Look at all this landscape, the depth. It's not, even though the camera's in close, the world is very large. And that's how they make Star Wars feel as big as it does, or the universe. Oh, how the universe feels as big as it does. Yeah, it's great. I watched this about 6 times, sorry. I just love it, I think it's great. Got so much to say about it. And then this lighting. So lighting is key here. It's what makes him look more sinister. So we've got dark, light, dark, light, dark, light. By having your cinematography like this, if you were a DP, so a director of photography, you'd be earning quite a lot of money. This is how you do it. This would have had an influence. This would have been influenced by a cinematographer looking at this, or someone that has experience. You've even got a little bit of it. Is that a light ray? Yeah, got a little bit of light rays coming here, which is coming from this smoke here. And we use haze and smoke so we can see the light. Without that, you can't see it. Have you ever opened up a curtain, had a slight gap in it with the sun coming through, and bashed a cushion, and you see all the dust come off from where you're living, and then you suddenly see all the light? It's what we use it for. We use smoke and haze so you guys can see the light, and it also gives you texture in your shots. Love that. What I liked about that shot of him, oh look, here we go, another one. Another full screen flash. Again, wasn't really needed. Okay, maybe that one was. It's quite good. Oh, that's why. They used it to give you the reveal of his damaged face. This guy really goes through the ringer, doesn't he? And where am I going to be looking on screen? Guys, what do you think? Bingo. Here. Because again, he's got a little speck of light. The brightest, whitest light is back again to make our eye drawn in to that section of the screen. And again, also, this is also out of focus. But this is where they want you to look. The way they've lit the top of his head going down into almost a V of light. Brilliant. Really nicely done. What I also really liked about this is when he looked at the camera, you could feel the challenge between the two. And especially as he's doing his voiceover as well. Yeah. Yeah, that's quite nice. That's really nice character establishment there. Like the spitting out. It wasn't a tooth, was it? What did he actually spit out? Just a bit of smoke. Oh no, maybe it's just showing his disgust. Look at this lighting. It's gorgeous. This lighting reminds me of a recent trailer that I saw for Furiosa. And that lighting was fantastic. There's a shot of her, and what they do is they put the light just stripped across the eyes here because they want you to look there, and it brings the eyes out. Look, we've got these little specks. We want to look at the anger. Eyeballs, or the eye area, is the best way to show emotion. Without eyes, well, you can do it with actors without eyes, as in, say, for example, they're a blind character, but you still concentrate on this part of the screen. With this, we know he's sinister. We know he's disgust, his distaste for this person by looking at his eyes. His eyes tell us everything. Let me go back 5 and play into it. Look at him. Love it. The growl. You guys have to let me know, because in the first one, there was just 2. It's like the rule of 2. I remember you guys telling me in the comments, it's about the rule of 2. You get your Jedi Master and then you get your apprentice. But there's loads of them here. I wasn't expecting so many. So does the rule of 2 still apply here? Or is he like just the big boss and all the rest are just, not apprentices, but just junior level? You guys have to let me know. I'm not too clued up on the lore of Star Wars, but I am very interested. This is fantastic, this bit. This shows the resolve of a character. We know most people, clones or whatever, would struggle with that. But the fact is, he's got his knife here. This reminds me a bit of an Astartes, actually. Warhammer Astartes. If you guys haven't seen it, you should check it out. It's fantastic. There's a bit where the character's almost force warped rather than like lightning. And he has a knife and you can see the body physically struggling. But it shows the resolve of the character. But it's also amplified by his scream. Oh, another cut. Oh, to be fair, this is actually needed. Okay. So that cut to black there. Let me go back and go into it. Boom. The reason why they've done that is because it's a great way of showing passing of time. We don't now need to see the rest of the battle unfold. So, boom. Comes in. Got a slow fade from black. So we know this is a slow start. Where the beginning, it wasn't, was it? It was a harsh cut in. We know this is serious. The shit's about to hit the fan. Off we go on this grand adventure. Where this is slow fade, building us in. But it's also, they've changed its frame rate. It's now in slow motion. The music has slowed down. This is what you would call a bridge in a story. So you have different acts of a story. Sometimes there's 3 act, 4 act, there's 5 act, there's 8 act, there's 16 act. There's so many acts of storytelling. It's incredible. But it's how many acts that you want it to be, okay? And so this, you will normally get a slow bit, okay? This is what you'd call the bridge. A bit like a music track, you get the bridge where it changes tempo. This is that. This is the bridge of a story. This is the part where a character normally falls on their knees, or the character, the hero, is stopped on their journey. Okay, let me go back 5 and play into it. And he is on his knees. He's being dragged, isn't he? The music has changed. The tempo has changed, yeah? We're seeing all his comrades be struck down. They should have seen some sparks or something come off that. Yeah, make it a bit more gory. And that's that, because I'm currently playing Jedi Survivor at the moment. And when you strike them, you at least see... You see the strike marks. Oh well. And also you can tell it's bad. Look at the camera. It's completely off its axis. It's not a straight line. This is fantastic. What this is used for is to amplify to us as an audience that something is wrong, that something is not quite right. Okay, and this is what you would call a Dutch angle. Is it all like that? Let me go back. Go back 5 from the black. Okay, so this is fine. So the camera is straight like normal. Our Dutch angle. Oh, going down so we can see his face. Okay, so here we go. Here's our first Dutch angle. Granted, it looks great because there's a hill. But it is getting there. It's off. They're being struck. There we go. Look, it's off now. Oh, that's good, isn't it? That's really good. It's interesting looking at the eye, because normally when you get actors that do that, or subjects, what they do is they call it a blink shot. Is they'll go from one thing, so you'd have stabbed him, and as he's impaled him with the lightsaber, imagine I am him, I would go from him and go to... What you do is you blink, you blink turn, and what that does is it makes it more dramatic, more imposing. Where in this case, they actually kept it... Well, his eye open. The reason why you don't do that is because you don't want to see the micro jitters. In this case, he didn't have them, did he? He strikes him down. It was a complete smooth eyeball, which you wouldn't normally get. With eyes turning, there's still a little bit of a micro jitter. But I feel that they've left it there because they want you to keep looking at his eyes. If he blinked for a second, you'd look at this. By keeping his eye there, we can see, look at this, the evilness of his eye. Look at the brow. Remember what I was saying to you guys earlier? This part will tell you information that no other body part can. You could tell if someone's in pain if you were just on this bit, if your framing, your composition was here. That's how powerful it is. You have to be so emotive. And then look, and then it's backed up with this smirk. It's great. Go back 5, play into it. The music is down. We are feeling what he is feeling. And then look, following the thread of storytelling, someone walks into shot and he turns his back on him. I love it. It's so powerful. It's almost like him saying, I'm done with you. You're not worth my time anymore. Next one comes in. Okay, big boy, it's your turn. Are you ready? And then the camera is replicating his head. It's not quite his eyeballs, but it's replicating him. The camera is looking up at him. And look at all this shot, all this, the way it's look. Dark, we've got light, dark, dark. A little bit of light here because we want you to look here. It's interesting, you know, I was talking about it has to be the lightest, brightest part of the screen. Not always. When it comes to skies, you don't need the sky to be that bright. You can blow it out, but it's actually your subjects, the whitest part on your subject or the lightest part on your subject is where you'd normally look. Because technically the hottest part on the scene would be the lightsaber. But we're not looking at lightsaber, we're looking here because the way it's been framed by using the light, dark, light, dark, light, dark, light. You see what I mean? It's all about that. If you ever watch breakdowns of lighting people or DPs and things like that, that is where you would see it all. But look at this, it's beautiful. And also what I like is the camera's looking up at him. And the reason why that also, what that gives him visual narrative wise is it makes him look powerful. He is a threat, a menace. And again, look at the camera movement. It's looking down on this guy. Why is it looking down on him? Because it makes him look inferior. By looking down on someone, the camera placement, looking down, makes him look. It changes. You can have someone on neutral ground. So you keep your, say for example, you've got two powerful characters and they come face to face. You would then, it means they're on equal footing. Because it's called a power struggle. And with them, they're equal. And we looked up at him a second ago. So we looked up at him. He has the power in this exchange between the power struggle of these two characters. We're looking down on him because he is inferior. He might not be as a character, but in this moment he is. He's down on his knees moment. Okay. Even if this guy, we started looking down at him, he's almost lost his power advantage a little bit, hasn't he? Because we're looking down at him. But using the blackness, light, dark, light, we're not looking at this guy anymore, are we? We're looking at matey boy here. Boom. And then she... Okay, hear me out on this one. This is what I would have done. This is the way my brain works, okay? Because the reason is, I'm bringing this up, is because there's two jumping shots. It doesn't work. You don't want to lose it. So here we go. First jumping shot. Power move comes in. Boom. Lifts them up. She's up in the air. Boom. Again. It loses its momentum because there's two of them. So what I would have done is... unless they tried it out, how I would have probably done it is you would have just seen a piece of grass and then a hand touch it. And you're like, what the hell's a hand doing there? And then the hand lifts up brightness. You cut out to a wide, cut out to this shot where she's on her knees, but you don't see the crash. Whoop! The power's there. Boom, boom. Again, that's so close. You can't see what's bloody going on. She cut them, but you can't really see what's going on. I don't like that part. You can keep it close, but you needed to see the blade move more. And then you get your crash. And then that would have made that crash more powerful. It's pulled this guy's attention in. And then, as she stands, the camera could have tilted up. It could give her more of a reveal. Lift up. It could have done a pedestal shot. And then build her up more. Then on a wide, see the lightsaber come out to its full extent. Oh, but then did they do it because of him? I didn't see that. He goes flying back. Oh, yeah, interesting. He goes up in the air. It's why I love doing these breakdown with you guys, because I get to see, I get to understand what, I get to try and figure out what the storyteller, the filmmakers have done here. So he's there in the light still. But I wasn't looking at him. I was looking at her. But because the story's him, it's his voiceover, isn't it? It's all about him. That's why they've done it. What the hell's going on? Then it's her little bit of light. She runs out and it goes back to him. Maybe that's why they did it. But it's interesting. You didn't know that was a double lightsaber until here, right? It didn't have the impact. I would have been like, oh my God. Imagine you're an outsider looking in. First time you've ever seen Star Wars and somehow you've discovered this. And you're like, oh my God, it's a bloody double-headed sword or double-ended lightsaber. Great bit of parkour. Oh, that's interesting. Let me go back, sorry. So we've got motion blur. Slightly off on that. That doesn't look right. They could have kept that. I feel like I need a bit of blur on this to make it look a bit more. So when they're on the wide, it has the blur. But when it's close up like that, it doesn't have the blur. And I feel like it should do. Because what you'd normally do on your close-ups like that, you'd use it on a telephoto lens. A telephoto lens is one that you can zoom in on. And by zooming in on a telephoto lens, the background is compressed. And so what that does is it makes everything shaky a bit more, or the background moves more. You don't have to have it shaky. You can keep it stabilised, but the background would move more. Let's wait to the next close-up. Yeah, the background would move more. Even on the slow motion, it would still be astronomically moving round. Maybe they did it because either they don't have the experience when it comes to cinematography, as in camera language, I mean, or they did it as in they don't want to confuse us viewers who are not into cinematography, but want to keep the eye on her, this side character, because she's definitely not the main character in this. That's the clone guy. There we are. See, that's what I mean. See that the exchange end. Watch. So the camera's slightly zoomed in more. And it moves, so a slight movement with the camera astronomically moves it. Again, this is the Hollywood coming out here, isn't it? Watch. Look. Boh, have that, you bitch. Smacks her around the mouth. She turns around and does a backspinning heel kick. But you don't see it. It's too close. It's Hollywood. That's the Justin Bourne. Actually, when did this come out? Was this released the same sort of time as Justin Bourne? Is it just... Jason Bourne, sorry, not Justin Bourne, Jason Bourne. Did this come out slightly after it? Was it inspired by that? It certainly looks it. That should have been a wide. Bang, see the spinning heel kick. That's why I love the first one, Return, you could see the movement more. This has got more of a Hollywood vibe to it, and probably why I don't think it's as good as the first one. But that's my personal opinion. Oh, look, this is nice. This is great. Look, you look in here, because of the light... Using the tree, boom, shaky cam. This is really good, this bit, because I can see what's going on. I can see the lightsaber battle. This is also where I felt the mix was wrong. So the audio mix, it didn't sound right. Let me go back 10 and rewatch it. I want to hear it more. It sounds a bit dead in the audio. I don't know why. Again, what am I listening on? Yeah, I'm listening with Dolby Atmos on, and it's their mix. I've actually been like, oh. Right, has she got the blade in her hand, or has she stopped it with a force? Oh, she stopped it with a force. I've never seen that before. That's fantastic. Because it's really clever. They blocked it as well. Do you see that? She jumps over. What? Oh no. The sound, and they block it. By blocking it through the camera, us, the audience, you think it's gone in. Very good. So that's why I was like, no. And then you get the reveal. The whitest part here. The light, you can see the struggle on her. The camera is also telling us there's a struggle. And then there's our hero. Oh, that's a nasty move, that one, isn't it? Let me go back. Let me go back 5, sorry. You hear it, then he turns. Boom. That should have been like really crunchy, like, ooh, with the back of his head. That's nice. What I love about that is the... Oh, another full screen flash. I love it. This character here, is it Malgus? I think that's his name. I remember from the comments. He sells this. Rather than it just going off, that would have worked. It just blowing up. But it works even more because he turns. And they plant the seed that there's just a frame or two where he pushes him back with the force. Oh, would that have killed them? Was that like a full-blown detonator that would have killed both of them? But by pushing him back... Ah, nice. That's why this guy looks like he does. So in the first one, Return, he sort of gets beaten up a little bit, doesn't he? And then this one, he's completely destroyed. He's really been through it. I like that. You're really sort of seeing the character. Or the character development. Shaky camera. Oh, interesting. Let me just go back quickly. I just want to look at the way... So the camera's shaky on him. Right. The camera was shaky then when it started with her, and then it controlled itself. What that tells us as a viewer, and what that is visual narrative in cinematography, means she is now in control of the situation. So let me go back 5. Watch. Camera's up. Oh, we're gaining ground with him. He composes himself. The camera composes itself. Quickly flicks over here. Right, okay, here we go, here we go. Control, control, she's in control. Boom. He's lost control. Now the camera is shaky. Also, by having the camera shaking like that, it's telling us that there's so much force being used within it. Even with all this wind effect going in, the camera is telling us what we are feeling as a viewer. Shoryuken! That's what I got from that, the Street Fighter. Yeah, that's great. It worked because it was a wide. They're wides, they work. Nice. Let me just go back 5 to his bit. Fires it. That's good. I feel like for her, they could have gone even closer, as in you see the squint in her eye. But then would that mean that that's, say here, let me go frame by frame, so we can see it. Let me go back 5. Sorry, guys. He could have been closer on that screen. So here, like almost like she's really building up the power. Because then we would have felt more of a connection with her from the first one. As in, it's almost like, not revenge, because they don't feel like that, do they? Or they're not meant to. But by bringing it in here, like, gotcha. It's eyes in, squint, whoosh, done. Movement goes out, follow it in. Cut to black again. And again, remember, we had that cut to black and a fade in because we're now showing a passing of time. But again, it's another full screen cut, isn't it? They like it on this one. Look at this. Well, this is beautiful here. So what this tells you visually, as in you'd call this the holy light. Okay? So everything is dark, yada, yada, yada. And you've got little bit specks of light here just to build the scene out. But look at the way it's shining on him. Right here. If this was me, yeah, you'd have a big light up here, shine it right down. Nice big 1200D or something. Nice gel on it. Light him up because it's a harsh shadow, so it's replicating the sun. But by being here in this pocket of light, it's what you call holy light, as in it looks like they are the chosen one. They are blessed. And guess where our eyes are looking? Over to him. You can tell it's a powerful moment because the way... Let me go back again. Because the camera's static, and just as he starts to get up, the camera then does a slow dolly forward. And a dolly forward meaning it's actually moving forward or backwards, in this case forward. Which then makes you feel the connection with him as a character. It's a meaningful moment. And then he turns around and then... But then if the camera was static, like if you're a junior filmmaker, you'd probably leave the camera static. It wouldn't have that effect. Remember, cinema is movement. We are going through this journey as if, you know, an extra pair of eyes on set or in this world. And he's enhanced because the camera's going forward. And then when he turns, we are turned with him because the camera's moving forward. Then shit's hit the fan. The realizations come in. And then, because the camera was moving forward on the last shot behind him, we now flip in front of him. The camera then moves backwards. Perfect.
Well, the
And it's a
sacrifices
great
are
reveal.
heavy.
This is what I really liked about this cinematic, because even though you would think it'd be about her, it really isn't. It was always about him. It was his story to tell, wasn't it? It started out, he was the first thing we saw, and we had that immediate connection with him. Then we heard his voice to support that connection between these two. So visually and audio connection with us to watch. And then when she came in, who stole the show, you know, you got this powerful weapon, effectively. She was there, but he saved the day, didn't he? It was thanks to him, and he's almost sacrificed because he tried to detonate himself, that she was able to do what she did. And even this tells you visually that is the case. Look at the layers. He's center frame. She is out of focus, but she is there. Okay, let me go back 5 and go into it.
Well, the
Beautiful.
sacrifices are heavy. We fight knowing that a single spark of courage
Great.
can ignite the fire.
Camera went up. The gun went up. The camera went up.
And restore peace
You get our big reveal.
across the galaxy.
And then the camera goes up, out into space. Let me just go back 10, guys. I want to watch that flow of emotion.
Well, the sacrifices are
Also, very quickly, look at the layers. Look at this. Pocket of light here, out of depth. We've got, oh, it's just gorgeous. And they use the leaves falling to make it, give the shot texture as well as the haze. Look at this, all this texture. All the falling particles.
the sacrifices are heavy.
Light rays.
We fight knowing that
It's interesting because even though they won and it's about good versus evil, it's still very contrast, isn't it? Look at the image. This is what you'd call low-key lighting. Stunning.
a single spark of
Camera goes up with the gun. Shot goes up with pedestal with it.
fires of hope.
And then because the camera is going up, when we get to the next shot, which is space,
The galaxy.
it then flows perfectly out. You know, we're following that thread of storytelling. We're being led from A to B, which is, in this case, I assume... Oh, are these the good guys? I assume these are the good guys, looking at the colour of the ships. I don't know, you guys tell me, is this the good side? I can never remember the bloody terminology. Yeah, is it not the Imperial? I'm not even going to even bother trying to guess that. You tell me. I love Star Wars, but I don't know it. My thing was Transformers. I could tell you everything about that. But this, not Scooby, except I love it. I would have said these are good, looking at the colour palettes and the fact that they're white. Because the other ones are very grey, aren't they? There we are. And then we've got our title scene. Or our end card. And the music. Again, we get that music at the end to really bring it back round full circle that this is Star Wars and this is how you definitely know it's Star Wars. And that's called a leitmotif. And I won't go into... Basically, all it is a reoccurring theme is what it means. But I'll talk about a leitmotif another time when I see it. Actually, if you want to see me talk about leitmotif, look at my last breakdown, which I did for Return. And there you have it, guys. That was my reaction and breakdown to the Hope cinematic trailer. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was really, really good. However, for me personally, I think Return still sort of clenches it when it comes to storytelling and just the overall story between this and that one. But thank you so much for the recommendation, guys, and I'll see you on the next one. See you later. Bye-bye.
Out of time!